Well, ladies and germs, now I picked this item up recently, and I did want to show you. It is actually Saturday today, so not midweek at all, but I intend to do a few little, you know, give it a bit of a setup and what have you. So what I did want to show you especially was the string height on this. Now that does look to me like it's been set with a half brick. However, let's stick it on the bench and see what we can do with it. Alright. Ladies and geriatrics. Yes, you will have seen by the title, if you are aware of John Coupland, who is brilliant. I heart John Coupland. I think he's excellent, and he recently did a brilliant video on some little tips and tricks to help people with, you know, the older generation to get around any playing difficulties, which I thought was superb. And I do want to address a little balance there at the end of this, so I will come to that later. What we're going to do today for our cheeky midweeker is I'm going to set up as best as we possibly can this Encore. Oh yes, this Encore electroacoustic. These can be purchased for 80 quid to your door. Would you? Yes, he likes them too. Would you believe it? So, without any further ado, let's have a look and see what the problems are, and let's see what we can do to fix them. Okay. There will be many cuts in this. Okay. Okie dokie, so here's the chap in question, and I don't suspect this is very odd. On the advert that I've seen for this, it does say, ideal for beginners. I refute this argument. Thus, it's terrible for beginners. Look at how far the strings are from there. You might get one of these, being brand new to the world of guitars, and think that you're awful, when actually the difficulty is that it's just not very well set up. So we'll see if we can do something about that, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So I'll put it on a stand because, well, I've got the camera in one hand and this tool in the other, my notched straight edge. It's nearest to the Fender scale for getting between the frets, and as I'm hoping you can see, it has got you could get a bus in that neck relief gap there. So the truss rod is conveniently placed under here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that there. So the truss rod adjustment screw knob, what's it, is underneath that. And I'm going to take the strings off anyway, but I'll probably loosen them first and see if I can get it something like. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so the neck straightness is now at, well, I could only say an acceptable level. Not sure if you can actually see that, but certainly the truss rod works and it has straightened the neck. So we now have the neck at the straightness that we need it. The next thing I did was I pulled out the bridge and sanded it down, obviously using a little micrometer to make sure I didn't go too far. So I've given it a bit of a whistle. The frets actually were pretty good, I'd have to say. So let's get it buttoned up, see what happens. What a relief, what a neck relief in fact. Okay, so we've got it buttoned up with all new strings. Now I put 9s on and I'll explain that now. Heavy gauge strings will give the neck a greater curvature, and that's something I was trying to avoid. Plus also it will make it play slightly more easily. And if we are talking about old age and the guitarist, then certainly one of the, and this is kind of my point, that certainly one of the most important things that you can do is make your guitar play easily, and then you're not struggling to press the strings down. And this now is, I don't know if I can do this single-handedly, but let's see what happens. I'm now at the 12th fret. I don't know if you can see that, but at the 12th fret, we are now down to 1.75 from about 2.75, which is a dramatic improvement. So let's have a very, very, very quick look at it. Yes, let's do that. And so how does it play now? Well, not bad. Yeah, okay. So I will run through this just very, very quickly. I might do a comparison with this and something similar. But they are not well made. And although you can get them to your door for 80 quid, you may feel that it's you that's at fault. Whereas, I mean, the thing was, well, it was unplayable as it was. So once you spent the 80 quid, then you've got to go and spend another 30 down your guitar tech to make it play properly, or maybe even slightly more. It is made of some sort of wood. I don't suppose for a minute that it might be spruce. I do like the colour. Beautiful cherry burst. That's superb. The tuning machines are silly. I mean, they're these, cheapo capped jobs. And there's very, very little information about Encore stuff and where it's made. It used to be made in Japan, but I believe no longer is. I think that the electric guitars, they still sell these at John Hornby SKUs as the distributor. You can still buy these brand new. And yes, so the tuners, look at the size of the capstan. The capstan, of course, is the bit that the string winds around. And the hole, you won't be able to see it now because I've got strings in, but the hole in the capstan is like it's absolutely next to the ferrule. So you can't do your normal graduated wind down because of course you start where the hole is and then you wind down to keep the string nearest to the nut when it's when you're stringing. And but yeah, all in all, it looks pretty nice and it plays quite well. So that is that, and now onto the final subject. So John Coupland, you may or may not have seen his show. This is him here on the telly box. Gives tips and let me first start by saying I absolutely love his show, and he's such a lovely guy. Wished I'd lived around the corner from him. And he did a lot of hints and tips for guitarists who are becoming more senior. John explains that he was born in 1952, so I'm a mere slip of a lad, having only arrived on the plant in 1960. However, if you are creeping up, do not think that this is going to haunt you, or that difficulties that maybe either of us have explained are going to happen to you. Because I've just done a little list here. So let me get behind here. And I have compiled a list of guys who were, so here are their names and their ages, apart from the ones who have sadly passed away. Then, I mean, most of these guys are still gigging. I will not read the names out or the dates to you because I know that you can read. And of course, up here on the left, let's not forget these guys here. So, I mean, they have managed to avoid any particular, as far as we can tell, physical difficulties, or perhaps they had some secret method of staying useful. Now, not that I'm advocating that you go around into the town and buy yourself a kilogram of industrial grade narcotics, as I'm sure that would be the first thing that you're all thinking. And I rather seem to think that the majority of these guys live pretty clean, healthy lifestyles. I mean, the Stones, for example, you've got to be fairly fit to do one of those punishing tours that they do. It's almost like athlete status. Anyway, certainly if you're getting on and you find it a bit difficult to play, John Coupland's got some absolutely magic tips, and definitely one of the things that you may struggle with if your hands are either getting a bit gnarly or just there's less power in them than there used to be. Get your guitar sorted out, get that action right down, put lighter strings on, it will make things easier. So that's it from me, and Owen Asian, the guitarist, and of course fixing up a bit of a cheapo acoustic. And I shall say adios amigos, and ta-ra until next time. Bye bye.